Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to game number 1 of the 2022 Hayes Larks season. It's a matchup of former rivals, the Hayes Larks and the Great Bend Batcats. This is Carson Ackerman on the call. I'll be with you all season long on Larks Network. Leading off for the Larks in this game is Jack Terosian, center fielder from Hutchinson Community College. Played in 60 games this year for the Blue Dragons, and starts off his season with the Larks down 0-2 in the count. On the mound for the Batcats, Ian Lanik out of Barton Community College. Two JUCO guys squaring off to get the season going for Hayes. His fastball high and outside, 1-2 count to Terosian. In his time with Hutchinson, Jack played in 102 games over the past 2 years, batting .329 and driving in 92 runs. Sends this one to center field, but it'll be a routine fly ball for Rogers. Gets under it and records out number 1. One away in the top of the first here from Great Bend, Kansas. Mentioned it in the comments section on our YouTube channel, but apologize for the not great view behind home plate. Not room in the press box for us, but we'll get it fixed tomorrow back in Hayes and get you the view you're used to. One away as Austin Jaslove comes to the plate. The Tennessee Volunteers starts off his count down 0-1. Jaslove, one of 3 Tennessee Volunteers on the roster, along with Larks outfielder Dylan Dreiling and pitcher Kayla Meredith. The 0-1 to Jaslove. It's low. Checks his swing. Umpire at first base says he holds up, to the dismay of the Great Bend faithful. 1 ball, 1 strike. One away to the 2-hole for the Larks. Jaslove, a Tennessee native, bats right-handed and throws right-handed. The 6'2 shortstop sends this one to the left side of the infield. Rushing in from third base is Murrow, and he throws out Jaslove at first. 2 up, 2 down to get things started for the Great Bend Batcats defense, and bringing up Tyler LaRue, the 3-hole catcher. LaRue, one of a handful of Texas natives on the roster for the Larks. When you see LaRue in person, I'll put it like this. We had a Larks alumni game yesterday, and one of our former Larks said, "Is that Thor?" When he saw him, he is a mass of muscle with some flowing hair, but he will ground out to the shortstop, Malone. 3 up, 3 down for Ian Lanik and the Great Bend Batcats, and that'll take us to the bottom of the first. No score. Bottom of the first we go in Great Bend. Leading it off for the Batcats, Alex Rogers out of Barton Community College. A lot of Barton Community College guys on the roster for Great Bend. Barton, of course, in Great Bend, so they're just staying in town for the summer, playing for the local collegiate team. On the mound for the Larks, getting his first of the season and throws his first pitch for a ball is Luke Terbeek. What a great story he has. We'll get to it in a second. Luke misses outside on his first 2 pitches, 2 balls, no strikes to the center fielder for Great Bend. Terbeek attends Mid-American Christian College in OKC, south of Kansas, down in Oklahoma. The righty from the Netherlands goes from the windup, chopper to third base. Hutchison has no problem with it in the hot corner, throws across the diamond in time to first. 3 pitches and 1 out for Luke Terbeek. Larks went 3 up, 3 down on under 10 pitches in the top half of the inning, and Terbeek will look to keep that magic going now for his side. So it'll bring up Hunter Gautreaux, the second baseman. Gautreaux from Hutchinson Community College, so he knows Larks center fielder and leadoff guy Jack Tarosian. Terbeek from the windup, the righty delivers. Off speed, high outside corner, perfect pitch, painting the corner, no balls and a strike. Righty versus righty. This one will miss low. Luke throwing outside a lot here to get things going. Luke, of course, in his second year with the Larks, made his debut last year for Hayes and had a really good year on the mound leading up until late July. He's a 6'2 sophomore from New Vennep, Netherlands. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 away, bases empty in the bottom of the first, no score. Larks sporting their red jerseys with the gray pants. Batcats light blue jerseys, white pants, white helmets. Beek from the windup. Catcher Tyler Roos sets up outside, and Beek delivers it right to his glove. No call. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gets the defensive lineman here in a second. But Luke looking good on the mound so far. Get 1 strike here, and that's what he'll do. And he won't. He'll roll a foul ball. So we'll stay at 2-2 with 1 away. Larks and Batcats, former foes in the Jayhawk League, and then that league split up. Larks joined the KCLB, stayed there for 1 year before going to the RMBL, and Luke Terbeek strikes out his first batter of the season and his 28th strikeout as a Lark. 2 away, base is empty in the bottom of the first. Now bring Kyle Gates to the plate. He's a left fielder, batting third. So ruled a 6-pitch strikeout for Luke Terbeek. 2 away. The left-handed left fielder sends this one to deep center field. Jogging back is Tarosian. He'll record it in front of the warning track. 3 up, 3 down for both teams in the first. We'll head to the second inning. No score, live from Great Bend. Back for the second inning, back for year 2 is Cade Brown, a redshirt junior out of Oklahoma. Watches this one miss low. 1 ball, no strikes to the Larks' first baseman. You're going to see Cade pitch this year, and you're going to see him play first base and maybe move him around the defensive alignment. But he's kind of a utility guy, can do it all, and he throws some heat on the bump. Really improved his velocity since high school and looked really good for the Larks last year. Kind of saw him in a closer-type role before it was given to Jose Velasquez. But he was a great reliever and even got some starts for the Larks last year. Sends this one straight back, 1 ball, 2 strikes to the Oklahoma Sooner. On deck for the Larks is Dylan Drowling in the hole, Tanner Rice. Brown, a Tennessee native from Franklin, Tennessee. He didn't play this year at Oklahoma, had battled an injury all season long. Actually kind of hurt it at the NBC tournament last year for the Larks. Played some fall ball and then didn't play in the spring for OU because of the injury. So if he gets that medical red shirt passed, he'll still have 2 years of eligibility left in the NCAA. This was his 3rd year in Norman playing for the Sooners, or with the Sooners. Didn't make any appearances last year, had a red shirt, and then in the previous year got there a little too late and didn't play as well. But a lot of talent here for the Tennessee native. Fouls another one off. We'll stay 2-2. Waits on this one and watches it hit the outside part of the plate. Called strike 3. 4 up, 4 down for Ian Lanik. That's his first strikeout of the day. So looking to change some luck for the Larks will be Dylan Drowling. Just graduated from Hayes High School. He's taking his talents to the Tennessee Volunteers down the SEC in August. Be a 6-foot freshman and had a really great year at Hayes High. While he battled his own injury, sends this one to center field. Rogers moves in, calls off his left fielder Gates, and records out number 2. 5 up, 5 down. If you're followed the Larks for a few years, used to seeing a second baseman wear number 2. It's been Grant Lung this year. It's Tanner Rice. He comes up to the plate as a DH today. Steps in the left-hander's batter's box. The UTA Maverick watches this one. Fastball high and outside. 1 ball, no strikes. It's a 5'7" freshman. Spent this year at UTA. Seen a lot of Larks from UTA in the past. Wyatt Davis, Matt Cavanaugh, Jackson Blue, Zach Henry, Sam Corral. List goes on and on and on. Carlos Tavera, who of course got drafted. Cesar, who got drafted as well. And Rice joined the list of Mavericks playing for the Larks. 2-1 count here, 2 away, bases empty in the top of the second, no score from Great Bend. 2-1 delivery, Lanik delivers this one, Rice sends it to the second baseman, Gotro takes his time, throws it to first base, and Larks go in order in the second again. Lanik has retired all 6 Larks and sends us to the bottom of the second. Bottom of the second we go. Terbeek back to the rubber for the Larks. Leading off for the Batcats is their cleanup guy, their catcher Connor Allen. Watches this one miss low, 1-0. Beat from the windup, misses outside. 2 balls, no strikes. This year at Mac U, Luke made 12 appearances, 5 of those starts went 1-2 with a 4.85 ERA. Nice off speed there. Over the plate, 2 balls and a called strike. Luke struck out 27 guys this year at MacU, matching his total from the previous summer with the Larks. It's cool watching Luke's development from last year being the new guy in town. Made his way from the Netherlands to Hayes, kind of getting adjusted to being a Lark, and now, right as soon as the season started, was already acting like the veteran and taking leadership and taking command of the clubhouse. It's really cool to see. He'll walk his first batter of the season here, but Beek has a veteran's mentality. Spent a couple years at Arizona Western, 1 year at MacU. Spent 3 years of playing collegiate and spent his last summer in Hayes. Before that, he spent 4 years in the Netherlands playing for 2 different teams, HCAW and Hoofddorp. Hoofddorp was 3 of those years from 2017 to 2019. Off-speed fools Adam Mustow, and the third baseman swings under it 0-1. Luke rarely walks guys. He only had 6 walks in all of last summer through his 9 appearances and 33 1/3 innings pitched. So getting 1 in the first 2 innings, that's pretty good for the Batcats to draw 1 and get their first base runner of the ball game. 1 ball, 1 strike here to Adam Mustow, the third baseman batting in the 5-hole. Batcats are 1-0. They beat McPherson yesterday 13-5. Larks, of course, is the first game of their season. Larks will take on the Batcats in game 2 of 2 tomorrow, but that game will be at Larks Park back in Hayes, Kansas, rather than here in Great Bend. Scoreboard here in Great Bend reads 2 balls and a strike, nobody out. The runner on first. So Luke has to go from the stretch. Off-speed, Mustow just not reading Luke's off-speed very well. Swings and misses at this one again. 2 balls, 2 strikes. After Mustow's at bat, we'll take you around the field and give you the Larks' defensive alignment. Runner takes off from first. Fastball's inside. The throw down to second is going to be in time. Tyler Ruth has 1 runner try and steal and already guns him down. 1 away. Nice throw from LaRue. Had some velocity. Was a little bit off the back, but Jas Love was able to reach for it and tag Connor Allen. Usually catchers don't try to steal, so our catcher said, "You're not going to do that on me," and makes the scoreboard operator add another out. LaRue, a catcher for the Larks, is from Texas, plays at Houston Baptist. It's his 3rd school. He'll send this one around the horn as his teammate Luke Terbeek strikes out his 2nd guy of the game. 2 away, nobody on. Right-handed batter comes to the plate. It's Kathan Malone, the shortstop. Sends this one to foul territory down the right field line. It'll bounce off the wall, and that'll send Leo Geminian to go get it in foul territory. Leo not in the lineup tonight. This will be his 3rd year at the Larks when he makes his debut tomorrow in Hayes. Defensively for Hayes, it's Dylan Drowling in left field, Jack Terosian in center, Hunter Rawson in right. This one sent up the middle. Jaslov runs in and makes a play at first. Luke Terbeek sees 3 batters, strikes out 1, walks 1, and gets a ground out. Finish rounding out is the infield. Hutchison at 3rd, Jaslov at short, Frenzy at 2nd, Brown at 1st, and LaRue behind the dish. That's the defensive alignment for the Larks. 2 scoreless innings here in Great Bend. We go to the 3rd after a quick 2. Moving along here quickly in Great Bend, the first two innings took a combined 20 minutes, and Palmer Hutchison will lead off the third for the Larks. Third baseman in his third full year with the Larks, played in a couple of games back in 2019, and then played 2 full seasons here, so he's the longest tenured Lark on the roster. He's a Hayes, Kansas native, played at Hayes High with Dylan Dreiling and for Larks head coach Frank Leo. From the windup, Ian Lanik sends a fastball at the knees of Hutchison over the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out, nobody on. Frank Leo, of course, the skipper for the Larks. This is year number 40 for him. Last year was the 75th anniversary for the Larks, and he's coached in over half of the program's history. Seen a lot of success, been to the NBC a lot of times. Larks are still looking for their first title. Hutchison sends this one to right field. Silva drifts back, stands on the warning track, reaches up, and catches it by the 375 sign in right center field. 7 retired for Ian Lanik.
Second baseman, number 4, Ben Ferenzi.
So to bring up the Larks' second baseman, Ben Ferenzi. Larks acquainted with his school, Arizona Western Community College. Larks have had quite a few matadors over the years. He's the newest one. He's an Australia native who sent this one to foul territory. Laranga has some trouble getting under it, makes a last-second reach and grabs it. 1 pitch for out number 2 for Ian Lanik.
Right fielder, number 6, Hunter Rawson.
Hunter Rawson to the dish. Now Larks a little bit dusty, trying to get things going, and a little bit rusty as well. Rawson, a UTA Maverick, kind of can do it all. Play pretty much anywhere on the field and pitches as well. Sees a fastball inside, moves out of the way of it, 1-0. 2 away. Rawson, a 5'11 junior, will be headed to the Sun Belt Conference after spending 3 years at Weatherford Community College. In his career there, played in 82 games, picking up just as many hits, batting .305. Weatherford College of Larks have seen some guys from there as well. Carlos Tavera went there and eventually played for the Larks, and then got drafted by the Baltimore Orioles. 9 up, 9 down for the Larks. Rawson flies out to center field. That's the 3rd time the Larks have flown out to Rogers in center. Larks go in order in the 3rd. Send us to the bottom half. No score in Great Bend. Bottom of the 3rd, we go here in Great Bend. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel while you're watching. Hit the notification bell, and you'll get notified on the YouTube app every time we go live. Subscribing doesn't cost a thing. You won't get spam emails from us, but subscribing helps us out a ton, and then it puts us in your subscription box on YouTube, so you won't ever have to miss a game or worry about missing a game. So let's get to Luke Terbeek's story. He has a 1-0 count here against Simon Laranga, who sends this one to left field for a base hit. Dreiling will scoop it up in the grass and bring it in. I don't know if you can see it on our camera here, but you can see it during Luke's warm-up. Wears a red sleeve on his left arm. That's because he had to get new skin there. Last year, he was cruising for the Larks, not giving up any walks, striking out guys, picking up wins. And all of a sudden, he was in an accident, got life watch to Wichita, He even thought his baseball career was over. But sure enough, other plans for him. Got some skin graft from his legs onto his arm. Made his return to the mound this year at MACU. And, of course, this year, Game 1 of the 2022 season, he's back. And, of course, you have to go with Luke as a starter for the season opener. What a great story it's been for him. We'll tell it to you sometime. We got to get him on the mic and let him tell you the whole thing. But just didn't know if he was going to play baseball again. Rallied from the accident as the community rallied behind him. And eventually got back on the rubber and had a great year at MACU and was looking to have a great year here in Hayes. He hits the DH Brady Kreitzer and puts 2 on with nobody out. Don't expect Luke to go too long in innings today. Larks kind of like to give the first 3 games kind of a feel-out period for their pitchers. Usually don't let them go over 3 innings. So this might be the last inning for Luke Terabik. 2 on, runners at first and second, nobody out. Kreitzer at first, Laranga at second. Beek looks at the runner at second. As the bottom of the order, Riley Silva, the right fielder's at the dish. Waits on an off-speed, waits a little too long. Swings and misses at it. No balls and a strike. Last year for the Larks, before his accident, Luke was 3-1, had an ERA under 3, only had 14 earned runs. He led the team in batters faced on less than 3 pitches, and 60% of the guys he faced saw less than 3 pitches. Heads up play from the Dutch pitcher. There's a bunt. He runs and immediately goes to third and throws out Laranga. So there's 1 away. Still guys at first and second. Sacrifice bunt attempt now working out. And Silva will reach on a fielder's choice, and Kreitzer, the Hayes native, to second. We go to the top of the order. 1 away. Larks still going to turn a double play to send us to the 4th. Hutchison recorded the out at third base. That kid has been a defensive monster for the Larks the past few years. Just anything comes to him, you know he's going to handle it. This time it was Luke that handled it. This one's up the middle. Jaslov scoops it himself, tags the bag, throws to first. In time. There you got it, the double play. 6-3. Larks get out of the jam, and Terabik sees 3 scoreless innings, striking out 2 through his first 3. And we go to the 4th. No score in Great Bend. Top of the 4th, top of the order for Hayes. Jack Tarosian back to the left-hander's batter's box. Hutchison Blue Dragon facing off against the Barton CC pitcher. Still Atlantic on the rubber, retired. The first 9 Larks misses the zone here. 1 ball, no strikes. Ian Atlantic this year at Barton made 20 appearances, going 5-2 as Tarosian fouls one off. Through 41 2/3, had an ERA of 5.62 while he struck out 35 guys. This was his 2nd year at Barton. He's a Eagle, Nebraska native. Stands at 6'2". The righty delivers the 1-1. Tarosian rips it to right. Gauchro's dive won't be successful. Larks get their first hit of the ball game and a really good base runner at first base. Rosian has some speed. There's a lot of Larks with speed on the diamond. He stole 19 bases this year at Hutch, so look for him to get a green light from third base coach and head coach Frank Leo. Last year, the Larks really stole a ton of bases. 114 stolen bases. Larks racked up a ton of big stats last year. Had a 200 run differential, had 449 hits and 245 walks. Larks cruise in the RMBL for their second consecutive title in just their second year. Check over at first. Trosian dives in safely. 0-1 counts to Jaslov. Will have to wait. Jaslov, shortstop, of course, from Tennessee, grounded out to Mustow in his first and only AB of the season. Off speed, he watches it miss off the turf. 1 ball, 1 strike. On deck for the Larks, Tyler LaRue in the hole, Cade Brown. Lannick gets his signs from his catcher Allen, agrees on the first one, delivers the 1-1 home fastball outside, 2-1. Jaslov's college. Tennessee Volunteers, the #1 seed this year in the NCAA tournament. Looking to go to the World Series for their second consecutive year. Larks had a couple of guys from Tennessee last year in Cortland Lawson and Jake Fitzgibbons. Cortland having a great year. This one hit hard to Gotro at second. Spins and throws out to Rosian at second. And then Malone's throw to first in time. The great Ben Backcats the third double play back and clear the base paths. 4-6-3 double play. So I'll bring up Tyler LaRue to the dish. Only saw one pitch in his first at bat and sent it hard to Malone at shortstop, who fielded it in plenty of time and got it to first in time. Lannick goes from the windup, off speed, drops low late, and LaRue swings above it, gives himself a nod. He says, I'm going to get that one next time. This year at Houston Baptist, LaRue batted .307, sends a slow roller to third. Mustow fields it, bounces a couple times before it gets to first, and Lannick, through the first 4 innings, allows 1 hit and only sees 12 batters thanks to that double play before LaRue. And Larks only brings 3 to the dish in the 4th straight inning, sends us to the bottom half. Still no score in Great Bend. It's a day after 3 innings for Luke Terbeek, just like we thought, and that'll bring up Braden Lukehart for his Larks debut on the rubber. The Oklahoma Sooner throws left-handed. This one is sent into right field. Getting under it is Hunter Rossington, and he records out #1. So good way to start if you're Lukehart. 1 pitch and 1 out. Lukart is St. Joseph, Missouri native. Played at OU this past year with Larks teammate and first baseman Cade Brown. So a little Oklahoma Sooner connection between first and the mound right now. Lukart's a 6-foot freshman out of Missouri. Was a 25th overall player according to Perfect Game, but his numbers show that he was a lot better than what, and his accolades show a lot better than what they thought he was. He was the Missouri Player of the Year, according to Perfect Game and PBR. On News Press, now Baseball Player of the Year, unanimous first team Midland Empire Conference in 2021, and Class 4 District 16 All-District team 2 different years. She had a dominant senior year, had a no-hitter at one point. The 2-0 delivery to Kyle Gates will be fouled off, and it's a 2-1 counts. His senior year had an ERA under 1 at 0.83, striking out 95 guys through 48 and a third. Just a dominant season on the rubber for the Southpaw. Ground ball up the middle, diving effort from Jaslov, won't get it. It rolls into center. Sorosian picks it up, and the Bearcats get their second hit of the ball game. So it'll take us to Connor Allen, the cleanup catcher. Walked in the second inning against Luke Terpeek, and then Tyler LaRue threw him out when he was trying to get greedy going to second. Larks fans, you can see the Larks socials on your screen. Be sure to follow the Larks on Twitter, like them on Facebook, and subscribe on YouTube. Lukart misses on a fastball outside, 1-0. Don't expect Lukart to go too far into this game again. Larks rotating their guys for the first couple of games to get a feel for things. Expect to see him go 2 innings. Allen 0 for 0 on the day. The 1-0 delivery, chopped up the middle. Lukart fields it himself, looks at second, decides to go to first. Makes a wild throw over the head of Cade Brown. Runners will move up 90 feet, and they are going to wave Gates home. LaRue can't field it. It bounces to the Bearcats dugout, and there's nobody there to back it up. Had the throw been accurate, it would have been in time. Instead, it rolls to the dugout, and the Bearcats scored 2 because of it. So, wild turn of events on an E3 throw. Allen goes from home all the way to home. Running 360 feet. Gates scores. Won't count as an RBI for him since it was an error. But a wild turn of events. But the Larks got plenty of time to make up for what's just happened, and they got some great bats to do it. Brings up Adam Mustow to the plate, the third baseman. Struck out against Luke Terpeek in the second. Lukart will look to shrug that one off, gets a chopper over the first base side, goes right to the Bearcats' first base coach. Larks did not lose much last year. In the regular season, they were 29-6 and 16-4 in conference play. This is a non-conference game. Nice pitch from Lukart. Gets Mustow to swing above it. 1-2 count with 1 away and nobody on. Looking for his first strikeout of the day right here. Gets set, and we'll go from the stretch. The 1-2 delivery, outside, 2-2. No movement in the pen for the Larks. They trust their guy on the mound. 2-2 delivery, lefty versus lefty, chopped to the Bearcats dugout. Working his pitch count here a little. Mustow, the third baseman from Hutchinson Community College. Kind of can play wherever on the field, just like Ronson, and is a right-handed pitcher, but he bats left-handed. Lukart delivers. Popped into left field. It'll just make it into fair territory. Bounces a foot from the line, and it'll be a one-out double. 3 straight base runners for the Bearcats. They have a runner in scoring position with only 1 away. Just their second hit of the inning despite scoring 2 earlier. Their third hit of the game. First extra base hit. Brings up Rathan Malone, the shortstop. He grounded out to Austin Jaslov to end the second inning. Lukart takes a deep breath, Looks at the runner at second. Goes home with the delivery. It's a fastball high, 1-0. A little bit of a rough fourth inning here for the Larks after quick first 3 innings. It's the first error of the season for the Larks on that overthrow to first. 2-0 count here to the shortstop. Malone from Temple College. He's an infielder. Get a mound visit from Keith Harper, and we'll take a quick pause in the action here on Larks Network. 2-0 count with one away, runner at seconds for Raylan Malone. Keith Harper, the Larks pitching coach for almost 2 decades, has his meeting with his pitcher and heads back to the dugout. This is his 18th year as the pitching coach and assistant coach for the Larks. Played basketball and baseball at Fort Hays State and was an all-conference player back in 1975 for the Tigers. 3-0 delivery, taking all the way is Malone. 3-1 counts with one away. Do it for the Larks in the 5th inning. It'll be 4, 5, and 6 hitters: Brown, Dreiling, and Rice. Lukart misses low and walks his first batter. There's been a single, a double, a walk, and a reach on error in this inning. 2 on, 1 out. Now the double play is set up for the Larks defense. So I'll bring up Simon Lorenga. The first baseman singled in the first inning, got to second base before the Larks were able to wrap up the inning and wrap up Luke Terbeek's day. Lukart misses low, 1-0. Showing a little bit with his command. But it's his first outing of 2022. Didn't make any appearances this year for the Sooners on the rubber. And gets a nice pitch in there. LaRue gives him a sign of his glove. Says good pitch. Gets set back down. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 away, 2 on. Batcats got both the runs in this inning on that E3. Lukart gets a sign from LaRue. Nods at it. And we'll go from the stretch. This delivery's off the turf. We'll go 3-1 counts. Scoreboard here reads 2-1. This delivery just slow. Now it's 3-1. 1 away. Larks need a strike here. Can't walk, the bases loaded. Nice pitch. Gets a sluggish swing out of Lorenga. Gets sent to left center field. Tarosian gets under it and will send Mustow back to second base with a nice throw. Didn't even start to go to third and then headed back. Out number 2 of the inning. So Hayes native to the dish, Brady Kreiser. He's a DH. Plays for Fort Hays State. Grew up in Hayes. Went to TMP. And is looking to do some damage to his hometown team right here. Took one off the number 6 on his jersey against Luke Terbeek in the last inning. Batter number 7 in the inning. This one's grounded to fellow Hayes native Palmer Hutchison. He fields it, steps on third, but home plate umpire says it was foul, and Kreitzer will get another chance. It was close, but they'll give Kreitzer the benefit of the doubt. No balls and a strike with 2 away. With with Must out second, Malone at first after the flyouts. Kreitzer, a catcher for Fort Hays. Takes in the right-hander's batter's box. The 0-1 delivery to tonight's DH. Ground to the third again. Hutchison fields it in fair territory. Throws it to first. Brown scoops it. And that'll be outs number 3. Kreitzer now 0 for 1 with that hit by pitch. Batcats bring all but 2 to the plate. And they score 2 after the E3 and send us to the 5th inning. Hays down 2-0 against Great Bend. Top of the 5th here in Great Bend. Leading it off for the Larks is the guy who recorded the last out at first base of the long bottom of the 4th. It's Cade Brown. He struck out looking to start off the 2nd inning. Takes a strike looking here. No balls and a strike to the Tennessee native. This is Cade's 2nd year in Hays. Chops this one foul. 0-2. Last year for the Larks, he appeared in 19 games as a fielder slash hitter, made 15 appearances as a pitcher, but in his time at the plate, in his 63 at-bats, got 15 hits and 15 walks, had 1 long ball, drove in 8, and even stole 1 base. 6'4" righty, has a big frame and a ton of muscle. Look to use that power here, down the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Still Ian Lanik on the mound. He's cruising against the Larks. Has faced the minimum through the first 4, and he will strike out Cade Brown for the 2nd time. Strikeouts number 2 of the day for Lanik, both of them Cade Brown. Not a ton of fans here at the Great Bend game, about 100, but they're loud at the Larks Park. Expect to see over 1,000 tomorrow in Hays. Hays just does it different. The fan base is the best in Kansas, and it shows in the numbers that turn up. 1-0 count to Dylan Dreiling, Hays native. Watches this one miss outside, 2-0. This is Dreiling's 3rd year with the Larks. Kind of never had a full year. Played 11 games in 2020 and 13 games in 2021. In his career with the Larks, that adds up to 24 games, and he has a 342 batting average, 5 extra base hits, 2 of those being home runs. 3 balls, no strikes. Expect the Tennessee commit to be taken all the way. And he does, 3-1. Dreiling committed to Tennessee the summer between his 8th grade year and freshman year. Never wavered from that commitment. 3-1 from Lanik. It's going to be in the zone. Dreiling takes it looking, 3-2. This past year at Hays High, Dylan was the Kansas 5A Player of the Year for the 2nd year in a row and batted nearly 600, batting .597, setting the school record here. He'll go down on strikes here, and Lanik has struck out the first 2 of the 5th. They'll take us to Tanner Rice, the DH, batting 6th. Rice, a 5'7" freshman at UTA. He's originally from Arizona. He was second in walks this year at UTA behind only Zach Henry, who played for the Larks last year. This one kind of in the same spot as the first pitch, but different call, 1-1. Rice nods his head, getting a better feel of the zone, digs back into left-hander's batter's box. Taking here, this one inside corner, 1-2. That one dropped late. Rice thought it dropped out of the zone. We'll have to protect the plate down 1-2. 2 away, base is empty. Larks down by 2. He swings and misses. Lanik strikes out the side in the 5th inning. Larks scoreless through 5. We go to the bottom half, down 2. Bottom of the 5th. Braden Lukard's back to the rubber for Hayes. Larks only brought 3 to the plate in each of the 5 innings. Very uncharacteristic of the program, but again, first game of the season, only through 5 innings, a lot of time to make a lot of damage. Cruising along here, good pace and a great off speed from Lukard there. Catches Riley Silva looking. Now the 0-1 delivery will be outside, a 1-1. Silva reached on a fielder's choice in the 3rd in his only plate appearance. At the bottom of the order for Great Bend. Inside delivery, he pulls his hands in, sends it over the head of Austin Jaslov. It drops in left center for a base hit. Great job of Silva to bring his hands in and reach for one inside and send it to the outfield. Leadoff base hits. Hit number 4 of the ball game, all in the past 3 innings for Great Bend. Lukard has a little conversation with Jaslov. They get on the same page, and we're ready to go to the top of the order. Alex Rogers, a center fielder, 0 for 2 in the day, grounded out to Palmer Hutchison to start the bottom of the 1st, and then grounded out in a 6-3 double play to end the 3rd inning. 1-0 reads the count. Runner on first. Still looking for our first out of the bottom of the 5th. Lukard delivers. Good pitch sent softly to right field. Rawson runs in. It's going to drop between him and Ferenzi. Softly hit to the outfield, but it drops perfectly between Ferenzi and Rawson. Back-to-back base hits, but it's 2 on. Gautreau to the plate now. 2 on, nobody else. From here, the Larks bullpen looks quiet. Slight breeze moving in from right center field, but not enough to do anything to any balls. It's a beautiful night here in Great Bend for some baseball. Lukard from the stretch. Not squeeze, but they showed bunts, and the throw to third is not going to be in time. It looked good from here. LaRue had a great reaction. Hutchison applied the tag, but they will say that Silva slid in under it. So they were going all in after the bunt, and then Gautreau decided to pull his bat back, but the bases are stolen anyway. So 2 in scoring position with nobody out. This one's fouled to the backstop, 1-1. Rogers at second, Silva at third, Gautreau at the plate. Gautreau on the day 0 for 2, struck out against Terbeek in the 1st and then flew out to Hunter Rawson in his first at-bat versus Lukart. This one sent hard to left field, but way foul. So we'll go 1-2 with the counts. Larks need some momentum here. All of it's in favor of the Batcats. And Lukart just broke Gautreau's bat with that pitch. So I head back to the dugout, grab a new one before he makes his way to the plate. So an expensive swing right there. Expect to see Lukart in the field tomorrow in the outfield, but today they want him as a pitcher. 1-2 home, swing and a miss. Lukart picks up his first strikeout as a Lark, one away. Prep Baseball reports had Lukart ranked a little higher than perfect game did. They had him as the number 15 player in Missouri and the number 4 outfielder. Southpaw delivers home, off speed inside to Kyle Gates. Gates 1 for 2 in the day with a single, and he scored the first run of the game for Great Bend in the 4th inning. Lukart at the plate hit .589 in his senior year in Missouri. And there you will catch Lukart with a balk, and that'll bring home a run and send Rogers to third. Silva scores the 3rd run of the game, and Rogers advances 90 feet to third. It's a 3-0 ball game. So 1-0. 1-0 delivery inside low corner, paints the corner, 1-1. Lukart looks at his defense, checks the count. Umpire holds up 1-1. Lukart goes home. This one's sent into center field. It drops 10 feet in front of Tarosian. Rogers scores, and that's the first RBI of the game for the Batcats. It's Gates. 3rd single of the inning. Rogers scores off the bat of Gates. 4-0 runner at first, 1 away. Keith Harper back to the mound to have a chat with his lefty. It's a day for Braden Lucards. After 1 in the third, Austin Pewitt will take over on the rubber, throws a fastball low. The throw down to second after Gates takes off, won't be in time. Another stolen base. That's the third one of this inning. So runner at second in a 4-0 ball game. Pewitt sports the number 29 jersey. We'll get another balk. Runner moves up 90 feet to third. No ball and a strike. Pewitt, 6'5" freshman from Grand Canyon out in the Western Athletic Conference in the NCAA's First Division. Palmdale, California native. No appearances this year for the Antelopes at GCU. 0-1 delivery, low and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 away. Pewitt played at West Ranch in high school. Was given a 9 perfect game grade, which is the second highest you can get. And throws heat on the mound. Really improved his velocity a lot throughout high school. Got it all the way up to 94 miles an hour according to Perfect Game his senior year. That clocked him in at the 99.42 percentile. Pewitt goes from the stretch. Fastball with some heat off the plate. 2 balls and a strike. All 4 runs for the Badcats have come over the past 2 innings. It's a long bottom of the 4th, and we're getting a long bottom of the 5th. Pewitt gets set on the rubber and will go from the stretch. Outside, 3-1. This is Connor Allen at the dish. He walked in the second, then got caught stealing. Then reached on an error in the 4th and went all around the bases on the throwing error. That is Gates at third. Stole second, then reached on the balk. 3-1 count, 1 away, runner in scoring position, 90 feet for making a 5-0 ball game. Pewitt throws one low and outside, but convinces Allen to chase it. He's into the right side, off the Larks side of the fence. We'll get a full count. According to Prep Baseball Report, Pewitt will throw a fastball, curveball, slider, changeup, and a cutter. Goes off speed here, but misses outside on the payoff pitch, and he walks his first batter that he faces as a Lark. So now it'll bring up Adam Mustow with the double play is set up. Mustow doubled in the 4th. Great Bend scored 13 runs yesterday. And scored here 4 through the first 4 and a third. Bottom of the 5th, runners on the corners, 1 away. 1-0 counts. Infield creeps in. Pewitt from the stretch. Inside off the turf, LaRue slides to his right to block it, 2-0. Turf infield here, and a grass outfield, much like Larks Park back in Hayes. At a sports complex in Great Bend, weren't originally planning to play here, but the Badcats' normal stadium being renovated. This one ground up the middle. Ferenzi gets it, tags the runner, and throws to first in time. Larks get their second inning double play, and Pewitt does just what the Larks brought him in to do. Walks a guy, but then turns a double play and sends us to the 6th inning. Badcats get 2, and they bring 6 to the plate. They lead 4-0. Top of the sixth, Palmer Hutchison, the third baseman, will lead it off. Pitch from Lanik will be framed by Allen. We'll get a called strike on Hutchison. Hutchison way ahead of this one. Down the count 0-2. Hutchison on the day 0 for 1. He flew out to Gates in left field in the third inning for the first out of the inning. Lanik has faced the minimum through 5. He's allowed 1 hit. Hutchison stays alive, fouls this one to the third base side. That Cats send their ball boy to go get it. 0-2 Lanik from the windup. Hutchison waits on it, skies it to left field. If it was fair, it would have been extra bases. Instead, it's foul. And we'll stay 0-2. Start off with 2 strikes on him. Now it's fouled off 2. Good job of protecting the plate. Hutchison just spent his 3rd year at Kansas City, Kansas Community College. Takes this one low. 1-2. This year he played in 58 games, had an on-base percentage of .434 while slugging .481. Had a terrific sophomore year in 2021 before his COVID sophomore year, playing in 51 games. Had 19 home runs, slugging .700. He led the team in runs that year with 52, slugging, home runs. And no other guy had double-digit home runs. He led home runs by 14 and had 62 RBIs to lead the team by 12. Watches 3 straight balls, works his way down from 0-2 to a full count. In that 2021 season, in consecutive weeks, he was named the Kansas JCCC Player of the Week and then the NJCAA D1 Player of the Week nationally. Down 0-2 to start, fouls off 2, and then watches 4 straight and puts himself on base. Terrific at-bats for Palmer Hutchison in his 3rd year with the Larks uniform. First walk of the game for Lanik, who's been lights out and terrific through 5. So, Palmer Hutchison to play for the Larks. Really no traveling. Hayes, Kansas native. So he just drives across town to play. As for the guy at the plate now, Ben Ferenzi, whole different continent. All the way across the world from Australia, takes his talents to Arizona Western. And now to the Larks. 5 straight balls now for Ian Lanik. Larks need to take advantage of that. 1-0 count to Ben Ferenzi, the second baseman. This one a fastball over the plate, called strike. 1-1. Ferenzi popped out to the second baseman, Gautreau, for out number 2, the 3rd. Hutchison decent lead at first. Not a real aggressive base stealer. This one sent to the left field side. He gets past Malone. Larks get their second baseman of the inning, and some life is building for the Larks. The Larks faithful that made the trip an hour southeast are starting to feel the momentum swing. And now in charge of keeping that momentum going, Hunter Rawson, the right fielder. He flew out to Rogers to end the top of the 3rd inning in his first and only AB. Runner in scoring position with the top of the order ready on deck. This year at Weatherford, Rawson drove in 26. It was last year at Rutherford in 2021. 1-0. Lanik losing his command a little bit. Nobody up in the pen for Great Bend. Rawson, a 5'11 junior. Stands in the batter's box. The 1-0. Still on the right side. Just foul. Had it gone over the base, it would have brought Hutchison home pretty easily. Rawson, an Aledo, Texas native, was second in home runs in his last year at Weatherford, despite playing 19 games less than the guy in first and 22 games less than the guys he was tied with. So he has some power on his swing. Shanks his swing. They say he goes around 1-2 counts. Nobody outs. Hutchison at second. Ferenzi at first. Ross in his career at Weatherford, 14 home runs, driving in 52 guys. So over the course of 82 games. The 1-2 delivery to him, chopped over the head of Frank Leo. Terosian gets ready on deck. Jaslov in the hole. RBI could do some wonders here at the bottom of the order. chopped to the left side, but this will be foul again. So Rawson do a nice job of staying alive. Rawson in 2019 for summer played for the Orange County Legends. Say only appeared in 3 games, but he picked up 2 hits in that time. And is looking for his first hit of summer 2022. 1-2 counts. Does a nice job of holding his hands back. Tells his guys on the base pass to stay where they're at. Rawson had some speed in high school. Baseball Factory clocked him at a 6.76 60-yard sprint. It's good numbers for a high schooler. Great numbers for a high schooler. Would be good for a college guy too. So look at this. Use the speed that he's gained over the past few years on top of that to get on the base paths and do some damage. But he's got to get on base first and bring home Hutchison at second. Stays alive here. Larks working up Landek's pitch count. Lanek looks at Hutchison, goes home. Outside, off the turf, full counts. Momentum starting to swing. And Larks have a real good opportunity right here. 2 on. Nobody out. Payoff pitch on its way. Lanek goes home. This one chopped to third base. Mustow taps on third himself, throws to first. It's wild. They'll get Hutchison out at third, but they will hold for Renzi up at third. Could have been a double play right there. Instead, we only get 1 out, and now there's runners on the corners. Still a terrific at-bat from Hunter Rawson. No worries about that one. Good at-bat, work the counts, and it causes Great Bend to bring out their head coach and have a chat with Lanek.
You're tuned in to the Larks Network.
Runners on the corners with 1 away for the guy who has half the Larks hits today and technically this season. Jack Tarosian to the dish, singled in the 4th inning, and then was out on the Jazz Love double play. Stands calmly in the box, watches this one miss high and outside, 1-0. Tarosian, again, a great year this year at Hutchinson after a great freshman year. Had a terrific career and is going to get a lot of interest from the college coaches. Sends this one to right center. Rogers runs through it. It drops. Moving up to second base is Rawson, and driving home an RBI with his single is Jack Tarosian. And the Larks get some momentum. They're only down by 3. 2 on, 1 out after the mound visit. So Austin Jazz Love struts to the dish. Gets some signs from Frank Leo before he steps in the right-hander's batter's box. Great rip from from Tarosian, and it dropped perfectly and brought home a run. Jazz Love fouls this one off. Heads down to first base coach and first-year assistant coach of the Larks, Andy Luton. He's a former Lark, a former Hayes High player as well. Originally from Texas, moved to Hayes when he was in high school. And I just kind of fell in love with it. Decided to stay with the Larks. Post playing. This one sent to left field. If it's going to drop on the wall. Larks will send one home. Great rip from Jaslow. Almost went out between the 325 and 375 markers. It's a one-out double. He sends Rawson home. And to third is Tarosian. Great rip. And Jaslow picks up his first hit and first RBIs of the season. Larks are running all the way through that. That was just a great hit right off the bat. I thought it was gone. I was really hoping it was gone. It would have tied the game. Just a little more oomph, and it would have been tied. Instead, we'll settle for it. 2-run ball game, 2 on, both in scoring position with 1 out. And it forces Great Bend to make a pitching change here in the 6th inning. This is Carson Ackerman on the call. Don't go anywhere. You're tuned into Larks Network. Top of the 6th, 2 on, thanks to Austin Jaslove's great double that drove in Rawson. Brings up Tyler LaRue to the dish with Jaslove at second, Terosian at third. LaRue takes a cut and sends his bat over the Batcats dugout. Acts like it's nothing and just walks to the dugout and says, hey, let me get a new bat. I'll worry about the other one later. So we'll get some pine tar on the new one and learn from that, get some new stick on there. Frank Leo actually will come back. Doesn't want that new bat, wants to stay with his old one. So Leo gives him it, and we're ready to go. 0-1 count. The Larks have put every single player that has come to the dish prior to LaRue on base thanks to a walk, a single, a fielder's choice, another single, and then that double. 4-2 ball game, 1 away, 2 in scoring position. 0-1 delivery outside, 1 ball and a strike. On the mound is Matt Nedved. Went to Washburn Rural High School and is now at Barton Community College. So stuck around in Kansas. Inside delivery, LaRue sends his hips out of the way, but it will be over the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mentioned earlier on the broadcast that LaRue is at his 3rd school in his career. Committed to Ricestown High School, went there for 2020. Then went to Grayson College in JUCO, and then found his home at Houston Baptist. He's a Texas native and has kind of just stuck around Texas. Made the trip north this summer to Hayes to play for the Larks. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. Nedved shakes off his catcher, and the southpaw will deliver from the stretch. This one sent to right center field. Terosian ready to tag up. Rogers catches it, and here comes Terosian. He slides in, and he is safe. Good running from Terosian. That is one that not many guys can make it 90 feet home on, and it was a good throw, but Terosian just too fast, and the Great Bend fans aren't happy with it, but from my angle, he did a nice job of getting under the tag. So sacrifice fly for Tyler LaRue, picks up his first RBI of the Larks. In the past 3 batters, the Larks have each picked up an RBI. And Terosian scores his first run as a Lark. Jaslove does stay at second, though, in the meantime. Larks down by just 1 now. This one off the turf. Allen does a nice job of keeping it in front of him and keeping Jaslove at second. Cade Brown to dish. He's 0 for 2 in the day. Both of his at-bats, strikeouts against Lanik. It's his first look at Nedved. Off speed, slow, and outside and high, 2-0. Nedved is 6'2" southpaw, had a 3.6 ERA in 4 appearances this year at Barton. Two-0 delivery, off speed outside. Brown sees 3 pitches, watches them all miss, and is now in command. (3-0) with 2 away. Sitting patiently on deck is Dylan Dreiling. This is the 7th hitter of the inning for Hayes. Brown takes this one. He thought it was ball 4. Looked kind of inside, but home plate umpire says it caught the play. Brown will go back to the right-hander's batter's box with a 3-1 count. Hitter's counts for the Sooner. Nedved dangles his arm, looks in. Looks at Jaslove, decides to go home. 3-1 delivery. Brown sends it high over to the right side, but that one's going to be out of play. Full counts. Larks have scored all 3 runs in this inning. RBIs from Tarosian, Jaslove, and LaRue. Two away. The payoff pitch is on its way. Brown rips it to the third baseman, Mustow, and will tag Jaslove, who heads to third instead of staying at second. And Frank Leo's going to contest that the third base was blocked. And talk about the unnecessary roughness there. Jaslove looks at their bench and heads back to the dugouts. Leo unhappy with what happened there. Larks still get 3 in the 6th. We go to the bottom half, down by 1 on Larks Network. Bottom of the 6th we go. A lot of heat here in that middle inning between the fans, Frank Leo, and the umpires. To that Jaslove out at third base. Austin Pewitt still on the mound. Did a great job of coming in and cleaning up the 5th inning. Misses inside on this one, almost hits Kathan Malone. 1-0 delivery, nice pitch, gets a swing and a miss. Malone at the plate, 0 for 1. He grounded out to Austin Jaslove in the 2nd inning and then walked in the 4th inning. But didn't get past first base after Lucarts worked a fly out and a ground out. 1-1, misses low, 2-1. Baseball Factory gave Austin Pewitt a 60 arm grade, which is, I'll get to in a second. This one's chopped to him. Gets to it, tosses it to Cade Brown, who tags first base and then hops over Malone. Great athletic ability from the Sooner right there. Good communication between the pitcher and the first baseman for out number 1. So now to Simon Larinaga, the first baseman, 1 for 2 in the day with a single and a flyout. Anywho, that Baseball Factory arm grade of 60 translates to what they call excellent / minor league pitcher level, and that was when he was in high school. So he's got a good arm. That's what they're saying. 1 away, first delivery here to the first baseman outside, 1-0. Prep Baseball Report said they get an 89-mile-an-hour average fastball. Not top, average. That's great for a high schooler. And then a 2004-3.6 spin rates from the same site. Again, great numbers for a high schooler. Really, you can see that he worked on it when you look at his yearly breakdown of Prep Baseball Reports each year. He just worked to get his velocity up and his spin rate up, and he did just that. This one's grounded over the right side. Pewitt heads towards it, loses his hat, but it rolls foul regardless. 2-1 stands the count now with 1 away and the base is empty in the bottom of the 6th. Pewitt's college athlete advantage also clocked his top fastball 94 miles an hour, just like Perfect Game did. But PBR had his at 92.2, which is still heat. And this one has some MPH on it, goes high, almost catches the head of Larinaga. So hitters counts for the first baseman batting the 7 hole. It's Brady Kreitzer on deck with Riley Silva in the hole. Pewitt delivers in. This one's chopped to the left side. Palmer Hutchison will wait on it and lets it go foul. And now we'll get a 3-2 count. Good read from Hutch. Larks still in the same defensive alignment as they started the game. Other than, the only thing different is the pitcher. Pewitt waits patiently. Larinaga taking all the time in the world to get back to the dish. PA people here at Great Bend have gotten to play 3 different sound bites and songs in the meantime. Just taking his time. Pewitt says, I got all the time in the world. He gets ready and he delivers his payoff pitch. It's a fastball outside. Larinaga will walk back to first base. This time he'll stay there. Reaches base for the second time. 1 on, 1 out. Brings up Brady Kreitzer, the designated hitter, grounded out to Palmer Hutchison to end the 4th inning, and then was hit by a pitch in the 3rd inning. Roger Ward gives some signs to Larinaga at first base, ready for them to see if they want to test LaRue's arm again. Pewitt looks over his shoulder at Larinaga and will check on him. The throw is wild. Cade Brown can't get to it. He hustles to it. Larinaga will move up to second. Ward holds him there. Larks having some trouble on the diamond with accurate throws. Larks were a team that just didn't make many mistakes last year in general, but really in the field. Pewitt is the only Grand Canyon Antelope on the roster. Made the trip from Arizona by himself. And misses low here, 1-0 to Kreitzer. Pewitt, also the only California native on the roster, but one of 15 D1 guys and one of 3 guys that goes to school in Arizona. 1-0 sent up the middle, misses his right foot, so they're going to send Larinaga home. Brady Kreitzer picks up an RBI against his former hometown collegiate team. Larinaga scores. And that'll bring up Riley Silva, who singled and scored in the 5th inning. Make it a 5-3 lead now for the the Batcats. Keith Harper calls time, and we'll have a talk with Pewitt. Cobry Grimsley will make his first appearance as a Lark. It's a 6'1" righty. Fires in a nice pitch to Riley Silva, catches the inside low corner. So it will be a day for Austin Pewitt after one full inning. A walk and a single this inning and one run. 1-1 count, one away, runner on first in the bottom of the sixth. Great Bend up 5-3 against Hayes. Grimsley from Atoka, Oklahoma, stayed in the state for junior college, went to Murray State with Larks catcher Brady Evans, and then stayed there after that and took his talents to Central Oklahoma, playing for the Broncos out of the MIAA. 1 ball, 2 strikes with one away, runner on first. This year for the Broncos, he made 12 appearances, 2 of those starts going 1-1, striking out 21 guys through 18 2/3. Grimsley delivers from the stretch, and Silva does kind of a, well, I swung too early, so now I got to slow my bat down, swings, and just sends it out of play. We'll stay 1-2. Sun setting here on the field at Great Bend. Really no wind whatsoever. Again, a great night for baseball. 1-2, this one again. Silva late on the swing, sends it off the inside part of his bat and over the left side out of play. Grimsley at Murray State made 25 appearances, 4 of those starts, so he's really primarily a reliever. Went 2-5 on the mound, striking out 46 guys. One, two. LaRue throws down to second. It's going to be wild. Jazz Love dives for it. It rolls to Terosian. It's going to be a stolen base for Brady Kreitzer. LaRue threw out one runner in the second inning, and since then, Great Bend has stolen a handful off of him. Kreitzer moves up 90 feet and puts himself in scoring position. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away runner at second in the bottom of the 6th. Grimsley gets set, goes from the stretch. This one ground to the right side. Brown slides, tosses it to Grimsley, and the throw will be in time. Nice play, a 3-1 ground out. Brown showing off the athletic ability, and Grimsley got there just in time. Kreitzer in the process, however, moves up to third base. And we go to the top of the order to Alex Rogers, who singled and scored in the 5th inning. Due up for the Larks in the 7th will be Dreiling, Rice, and Hutchison, the 5, 6, and 7 hitters. Grimsley misses outside. LaRue read it immediately and blocked it. A beautiful block to save a run and keep Kreitzer at third base. The first 3 innings only took 30 minutes, but the past 3 have taken over an hour. Big change of pace once the runs started coming in. This one ripped to the left field side, but it'll drop 4 feet in foul territory. Kreitzer would have scored easily, and Rogers would have gotten extra bases. Had it been fair. Instead, the scoreboard here in Great Bend reads 1-1. Rogers, 1 for 3 in the day, singled. In the 5th, hit a double play to end the 3rd and grounded out to start the bottom of the 1st. Takes this one, an off-speed from Grimsley all the way, 1-2. Great Bend has scored in each of the past 3 innings. 2 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th. One-two from Grimsley. Popped over the right side, is going to be out of play. Fourth pitch of the day for the Larks. Luke Terbeek threw 3, and with Braden Lukart, Austin Pewitt came in relief of him, and now we're sitting with Grimsley. So misses low. LaRue snags it off the turf. Again, keeping things in front of him and preventing runs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Kreitzer wants to score from third over there chatting with Palmer Hutchison. They played on the Hayes Legion team together back in high school. 2-2, off-speed, swing and a miss. Nice pitch from Grimsley. The throw to first will be in time. And Grimsley does what they asked him to do. Picks up his first strikeout as a Larks and sends us to the 7th inning. Great Bend gets a run back. They lead by 2 here on Larks Network. This is Carson Ackerman on the call. Top of the 7th. Here we go. Dylan Dreiling will lead it off for Hayes. Still Nedved on the mound. Takes this one down the count, no ball and a strike. Dreiling on the day 0 for 2. The fly out and a strikeout pops Out of play here, down 0-2. Will have to protect the plate with Tanner Rice on deck. Dreiling last year with Hayes for the Larks batted .359. Got on base 44% of the time he came up to the dish. Stays alive here, will stay at 0-2. Made 4 appearances on the mound as well for Hayes. All in relief, no decisions, but he struck out 13 over the course of 7 innings. This one almost hit his back. Almost wonder if he should have taken it, down 0-2. But he'll save himself some pain, and give himself a chance at extra bases by putting himself in a 1-2 count. This one high and outside, 2-2. Dreiling, the grandson of Larks manager Frank Leo. Outside, 3-2. Nedved shakes off the sign from Allen. After throwing 3 straight balls, this payoff pitch is inside. It's a drop third strike. Or excuse me, not a drop third strike. Dillon did make contact, but it rolls foul and will stay alive. Dillon did a nice job, went down 0-2 quick, but has fouled off a few, taking 3 balls, and he'll stay alive. Looking for his first hit of 2022 as a Lark. 3-2, he chases one outside and will be sent to the dugouts on his second strikeout of the game.
Designated hitter number 2, Tanner Rice.
I'll bring up the designated hitter, Tanner Rice. He's 0 for 2 in the day. He flew out to end the top of the second and struck out to end the top of the 5th. Fouls this one to the right side, 0-1. Rice played at UTA, I mentioned that before, but he plays there with his brother Tyler, who is a junior on the Mavericks. Mavericks roster might look a little bit different next year. Lost their head coach, and with the transfer portal, a lot of guys, I'd imagine. We'll be seeing what other options are out there. Nicely hit. This one's over the head of the third baseman, Murrow. Rice rounds first hard, looks at second, but decides to be content with a single. Andy Luton holds him up, gives him a fist bump, and we'll be happy with Rice's first hit as a Lark. Rice does have some speed. Stole 14 bases in high school and 2 this year at UTA. So bring us to Palmer Hutchison. 0 for on the day, he flew out and walked. This one misses low. 1-0 counts. 1 away, runner on first in the top of the 7th. Larks down by 2 against Great Bend. Nice hit between first and second. Rice will head to second. Palmer Hutchison to first. Hutchison's first hit of the 2022 season, the second time he's been aboard in the past 2 innings off of a walk, and now a single. Back-to-back hits for the Larks, puts 2 on, tying run at first. Go-ahead run at the plates for Ben Ferenzi. Ferenzi singled in the 6th inning and scored the Larks' first run of the game. He wants to move his teammates over. He swings at one low here, chases it, and is down the count 0-1. Hunter Rawson bombing the order on deck. Nedved looks in. 0-1, same spot, but Ferenzi will watch it. Misses low, 1-1. Ferenzi this year at Arizona Western appeared in 58 games for the Matador, drove in 39, and had 53 hits. He's now going to have to protect the plate down 1-2. Hutchison gets his lead at first, Rice's lead at second. 1-2, protects, sends it off the end of his bat into the backstop. Hunter Rawson will come by and pick up the ball before it goes back to the circle. Forenzi in Australia appeared on the Australian U15, U16, U17, and U18 teams. Chase is here and will be down on strikes. 2 away.
Right fielder number 6, Hunter Rawson.
So it takes us to Hunter Rawson. He'll be joining Tanner Rice next year at UTA, but wants to bring him home here, make it a 1-run deficit. First delivery to Rawson. Rawson off the plates. Allen, been a pretty steady backstop today, keeps it in front of him. 1-0. Rawson reached on a fielder's choice in the 6th inning and then came around to score. This one above the letters. 2-0. Again, this game 1 of 2 against Great Bend for the Larks. It's a home and away series, so we'll be back home tomorrow. First pitch at 7 p.m. You can catch it here on Larks Network. 2-0. He swings at one under it. 2-1. Tarosian on deck for Hayes. Larks scored all 3 runs that they have in the last inning. Done a much better job of getting guys on base in the past 2 than they did through the first 5. Rawson rips this one up the middle, and Malone will toss it to Gautreau, and that'll end the top of the 7th. We'll go to the 7th inning stretch. Hayes will be down to their final 6 outs, down by 2, moving forward. Kobe Grimsley back to the mound for the bottom half of the 7th. Hayes down by 2. Leading it off for Great Bend, Hunter Gautreau. He's 0 for 3 on the day, struck out in the 5th and the 1st, and then flew out to Hunter Rawson in the 4th inning. He's the only bat cat to not reach base today. He's off to a good start in this AB, up in the count, 2 balls, no strikes. Grimsley goes home. This one's lined into center. It drops for a base hit. 3 pitches and a single for Gautreau. Now every bat cat has been aboard. Now to Kyle Gates, the left fielder. He singled in the 5th and the 4th, scored in the 4th, and drove in a run in the 5th. Gates from Temple College. He's an outfielder. Again, almost every single guy on Great Bend's roster, a JUCO player. As for the Larks roster makeup, the Larks have 15 Division I guys, 2 Division II players, 9 JUCO players, and 1 NAIA pitcher. Grimsley, one of 6 guys that goes to school in the University of Oklahoma. and is one of two guys originally from Oklahoma, along with his former teammate at Murray State, Brady Evans. 0-2, way outside and high. LaRue jumps for it, but it'll get past him. Runner was stealing anyway. Gautreau moves into second base and puts himself in scoring position with nobody out. Larks will have 6 outs to work with, down by 2 here in Great Bend. Outside, 2-2. Grimsley sports a number 21 jersey for the Larks. And gets his second strikeout in that same jersey here today. So that puts our first out on the scoreboard of the 7th inning. One away, runner in scoring position at second base for Connor Allen. Allen's been aboard every time he's come to the plate today thanks to 2 walks and an error. He scored once and was also thrown out trying to steal second back in the second. On Grimsley's perfect game account or bio, they listed him as a second baseman / catcher, middle infielder, outfielder, right-handed pitcher, and utility. So every position but left-hand pitcher. But he's been used only as a pitcher in college, and the Larks really don't show signs of using him as anything other than a pitcher this year. He has a 1-1 count with 1 away here. He had an exit velocity from PBR at 105. That's pretty good. This one's skied over to the right side, but it'll be plenty foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Allen sits in the right-hander's batter's box versus the righty. Grimsley, this one's lined into the center field. It's Rosian, gets under it. And speeding on his way to third base is Gautreau. Looked like he might have left early. Larks aren't going to test it. Or they will now. Jaslev does, just to be sure. Umpire says he didn't. So, Allen out for the first time today. But Gautreau moves up 90 feet. So Adam Mustow to the dish now. He's 1 for 3 strikeouts against Luke Terbeek in the second. Had an inning-ending double play in the 5th, but also had a double back in the 4th inning against Braden Lukart. Low, 2 balls, no strikes, 2 away. Appreciate you watching on Larks Network. A lot of stuff you could have been doing with your evening today, but you chose to be with us, so we appreciate you and hope you stay with us all season long right here on Larks Network. 3 straight balls from Grimsley. It's a 3-0 count. On deck is Caden Malone, who's proved to be an easier out than Mustow today. He's hitless. Taking all the way, Grimsley just fires this right down the pipe. It's 3-1. Grimsley listed as a switch hitter and a right-handed pitcher. Don't know if we'll get him a chance to put a bat in his hand this summer. Gets a sign from LaRue and delivers home. 5-pitch walk for Adam Mustow. And he's now runners on the corners for the Batcats. And Keith Harper will come to the mound. And looks like we might be going to the pen. And doesn't take the ball out of his hands, but the umpire pointed to the bullpen. We'll take a pause while they take a chat. Hunter Parker making his first appearance of 2022 for the Larks on the mound. He goes from the stretch. The right-handed Aurora, Colorado native misses inside 1-0. This is Parker's second year with the Larks. Pitched last year and just wrapped up his senior year at Fort Hays State. So 6-1 Northpaw has a 1-0 count. Gets a pop fly that goes foul off the bat of Raven Malone. Malone grounded out in the sixth. And then grounded out in the second to Jaslove, but walked in the fourth against Braden Lukart. 1 ball, 1 strike. Parker made 12 appearances this year at Fort Hays All-Stars. And had the second most appearances on the team, but led the team in innings pitched, strikeouts, and starts. Gets 2 strikes here, 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 away, runners in the corners in the latter half of the 7th inning here in Great Bend under the lights. Parker sets up, goes from the stretch, runner takes off. LaRue catches the runner at third in the pickle with a pump fake. Jaslove comes over, and the Larks get a pickle set, and Parker applies the tag, and they will get Gautreaux out, and that'll end the 7th inning. Malone will have to get a fresh at bat in the 8th inning. Nice job with the pickle there. I really thought that Gautreaux had a chance of getting home, but Parker applied the tag off of Jaslove's throw, and that ends the inning. Larks down by 2, down to their final 6 outs here on Larks Network. Jack Tarosian led off the first inning, led off the fourth inning, and is leading off for the third time today here in the eighth inning. He's 2 for 3 with a pair of singles, a run scored, and 1 run driven in. He's an Omaha native. Made his way south to Kansas for JUCO ball, and stayed in Kansas last year for Summer League, playing for Derby, and stayed in the state this year, playing for the Larks. Has an 0-1 count. This one inside does catch the plate. No balls, 2 strikes on the Larks center fielder. A 5-3 ball game. Still Nedved on the mound. Great Bend only used 2 pitchers today so far. They do have a righty up in their pen. 1-2. Nobody out, nobody on. Fastball high, 2-2. Tarosian was tied for the most triples this year at Hutchinson and had the most triples his freshman year at Hutchinson with 7. Also had the most triples last summer for Derby with a pair. So it's a triple machine. Works his count to 2-2 after being down 0-2. And takes this one to the right side of the infield. Larinaga gets to it, and Tarosian is just going to be too fast for Nedved, who tries to apply the tag, loses the ball. And Tarosian has shown that speed already a few times today, especially on the LaRue sacrifice fly. Speeds 90 feet to first base and gets his 3rd straight single. So that's what the Larks needed to get things going here in the 8th. A fast base runner. Look if Frank Leo wants to get him to move. He's making some signs over there across the diamond. Tarosian catches him and gets his lead at first base as Austin Jaslove makes his way to the dish. Jaslove had a loud double in the 6th inning, was nearly a home run. Instead, he wound up with only 2 bases, but did pick up an RBI. He sends this one off the end of his bat to the backstop. No balls and a strike. Jaslove 1 for 3. Called strike 2. Asks the umpire a question, gives him a nod, has a better gauge of the strike zone now. Second straight batter started off 0-2. Let's see if Jaslove can work some magic like Tarosian did. Pops this one over to the left side. Every Great Bend player goes to it, but it will drop out of play. Good job to protect the plate by Jaslove and stay alive. Waiting on deck is Tyler LaRue with Cade Brown in the hole for Hayes. Tarosian patient over there at first base. Larks could use a run, but you don't want to get them out when you're still down by 2. So might not want to risk going to second. Nedved decides to check over on him. He's in there standing up. This one hits it hard to left center field. Gates and Rogers move towards it. A diving attempt from Rogers will be successful. Jaslove hit that well, but just a great play by Rogers. Saves extra bases, and had there been 2 outs, Tarosian would have been running, and had it dropped, he probably would have scored. Nonetheless, he heads back to first, and now there's 1 away. Jaslove backs the dugout. He has made great contact in his past 2 at-bats, but in those 2 at-bats, he'll go to the dugout. Now 1 for 2 with that double, and now a fly out to center. The ball sounds really good off of Jaslove's bat. This one high, 1-0 to Tyler LaRue. LaRue on the day, 0 for 2 with a pair of groundouts and a sacrifice fly back in the 6th that brought home Tarosian. LaRue loses his bat for the 2nd time. This time it's straight back. One ball and 1 strike, 1 away, runner on first. Brown on deck, drilling in the hole for Hayes. Nedved goes from the stretch. He's a southpaw, so he's able to look at Tarosian and kind of, look at him before he moves his foot forward to make Tarosian think he might pick him off. Has only made it one attempt. 1-2 after the foul ball from LaRue on a check swing. Runner takes off. LaRue's down on strikes. The throw is going to be high, but it wouldn't have mattered. Tarosian's in safely. And there's 2 outs. And now a runner in scoring position. Larks steal their first base of the season.
First baseman, number 28, Cade Brown.
Takes us to Cade Brown. He's chatted up Tarosian at second base with their second baseman, Gautreau. As I mentioned before, they're teammates at Hutchinson Community College, so old pal is chatting it up. 2 away, Cade Brown fouls this one out of play and out of the park. No balls, 1 strike. Larks down to their final 4 outs, down by 2, but we do have that runner in scoring position in Tarosian. Nedved delivers home, and off speed drops low, but it does catch the knees of Cade Brown over the plate. No balls, 2 strikes to the Sooner. Brown 0 for 3 on the day with a pair of strikeouts and a fielder's choice. The 0-2 delivery from Nedved misses. We've had a lot of 0-2 counts against the Larks that just can't finish them on 3 pitches. Brown still down the count 1-2. 2 away. Do it for the Batcats. Be Malone, Larinaga, and Kreitzer. In the bottom half of the 8th. Nedved home, the 1-2. Misses low again, 2-2. Larks have done a great job of working their way back in counts today. Nedved has only started 1 game at Barn Community College over his 2 years there. So 7 appearances in relief, 1 as a starter. Brown sends this one sky high, but it's going to be out of play. Two and two, Nedved waits for his first baseman, Larinaga, to get back in position after he chased that one all the way out of play. From the stretch, the 2-2. Brown watches it and has been hat-tricked, his 3rd strikeout of the day. And Larks leave a runner in scoring position. We go to the bottom half of the 8th. Hayes down by 2 on Larks Network. Bottom of the 8th, Hunter Parker returns the mound and will face Malone again. There was the pickle to end the inning, and so Malone never finishes at bat, so he's given a fresh count, but starts it down 0-1. Malone, the shortstop from Temple College, 0 for 2 with a walk and a couple of groundouts. Parker now able to go to from the windup against Malone. Here in the 8th. This one almost catches the jersey of Malone, 1-1. Parker played for the Larks last year, as I mentioned. He made 10 appearances for Hayes, went 4-0 with a 3.33 ERA, and struck out 36. Led the team in starts with 8, and second in innings pitched with 40. Threw a complete game shutout on June 13th of last year versus Fort Collins. July 13th. Really, you can't judge him off those numbers, though, because his ERA really got inflated against Game Day Saints. He just had a very uncharacteristic outing. When you remove that game, his ERA drops to 2.37. But there was a stretch from June 7th to August 8th where this kid was lights out. In that time frame, made 7 appearances. He went 3-0 and had a 1.12 ERA and opponent batting average of 233. It's a great stretch for Parker, and he gets his first strikeout of 2022 with the Larks this year, sending Malone back to the dugout for the 3rd time today.
First baseman, number 25, Simon
Larinaga will come to the dish for the 4th time today. 1 away. Larinaga, the first baseman, he walked in the 6th inning, singled in the 3rd inning, and scored in that 6th inning. Before going to Fort Hays, Hunter Parker played for Western Nebraska, spent a couple years there, making 22 appearances over the course of those 2 years, striking out 101 guys. 1-0 inside 2-0. Parker's a very cool and collected guy. You go out there and throw 9 innings, have a great game, and you'll see the same Hunter Parker if he went out there and had a bad game. He just knows what he does and does it calmly, allows a single here, and will be the first hit he allows of 2022. Never really gets worked up on the mound and keeps all his mechanics and everything the same through each batter, and it showed really in his numbers last year that he just does what works for him, and it works, but he keeps doing it. So we get a pinch runner here for the first baseman. That's Nick Littke. He's another Hutchinson Blue Dragon. So Brady Kreitzer to the dish now. He singled home a run in the 6th inning and was hit by a pitch in the 3rd, grounded out in the 4th. These two guys right here, Brady Kreitzer the dish, Hunter Parker in the mound, teammates at Fort Hays. So Tiger versus Tiger matchup right here. Hunter Parker won't be going back to Fort Hays next year after graduating and using his eligibility. So when chopped over the left side, it'll be foul. Kreitzer will go back to the dugout down, or not dugout, the batter's box down 0-1 in the count. Hunter Parker, his first year at Fort Hays, redshirted, and then in 2021 made 12 appearances, 7 of those starts, going to 4-3. Led the team in strikeouts with 51 over the course of 51 in the 3rd innings pitched. At both Western Nebraska and at Fort Hays, he struck out 101 guys each. Struck out 202 guys over his 4 years of pitching in the collegiate ranks. 1-1 count with 1 away, runner at first. He wants to check over on him. That was the best pickoff move we've seen tonight. We've seen some wild ones. We've seen some half-hearted ones. This one has some heat on it, but still back in plenty of time is Littke. Chop to the left side. Again, Kreitzer will wait a little bit more on these next ones after sending 2 foul and early swings. Parker went to school in Eagle Crest out in Colorado. Threw 1 complete game there between his sophomore and senior years and picked up a couple of wins through 15 appearances, striking out 42 guys. Time is called. umpire has called time on his own, said something to Parker. Hunter smiles, shakes it off. Kreitzer himself had a smile, and they'll get ready to face off here. Parker looks in, gets the signs from LaRue, and we'll go 1-2. Not sure what that was about. I'll ask him after the game. 1-2, and he sends Kreitzer back to dugout on strikes. And Parker wins the Tiger matchup. Now 2 away. Hunter's second strikeout of the inning. Riley Silva to the dish now. He is 1 for 3 with a ground out and a single. Reached on a fielder's choice back in the 3rd inning, but then was out on an Austin Jaslove to Cade Brown double play. Runner goes. Tyler LaRue might have had him had the ball been held onto, but it was a tough one for Jaslove to grab off of the bounce. And so sliding safely to second is Nick Jaslove, or it's not Nick Jaslove, Nick Litke. One-0 delivery from Parker from the stretch, skied out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 away, runner in scoring position at second base. Do it for the Larks, down by 2, down to their final 3 outs in the top of the 9th inning will be Dreiling, Rice, and Hutchison, the 5, 6, and 7 hitters. Dreiling will lead off his 2nd time of the day. He led off the 7th inning with a strikeout. Larks were scoreless in every inning other than the 6th when they picked up all 3 of their runs. Parker misses outside here, 2-1. Parker offsets his front foot, goes from the stretch. The 2-1 delivery, swing and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Parker with those 2 strikeouts today has struck out 38 guys in his Larks career. Agrees with LaRue on the sign. Will deliver again. Pop fly out of play. We'll stay at 2-2. Larks usually not losing in situations. They dominated all of last year. So this is pretty uncharacteristic. Granted, it's a whole new roster, and we're feeling some things out. Great Bend has already played a game. It took the Larks 5 innings to find a groove. So expect a different ball game tomorrow, but Larks just didn't have it in their first 5 innings, and they're paying for it now. Parker thought he ended the inning right there. Umpire says it missed high. We'll go full counts. Larks were 32-8 overall last year and won 11 of their first 12 games and started off the month of July winning 14 straight. Payoff pitch from Hunter will be fouled off. Lakey was running all the way, but with no force out at third, they still could have thrown down had there been a walk. So we get another payoff pitch with 2 outs from Hunter Parker. Outside, and he does walk this guy. Silva takes his talents at first base for the 3rd time today and takes us to the top of the order. Alex Rogers makes his 5th plate appearance. Rogers 1 for 4 with a double play, a ground outs, strikeout, a single, and a run scored. Larks just looking for the last out. 1-0 after Parker misses, shares a smile with LaRue. Hasn't been too happy with the calls the home plate umpire has given him. Home misses low, 2-0. 2-0 delivery from Parker. This one does catch the low outside corner, 2-1. Umpire getting heckle from the Great Bend faithful. Locks in as Hunter Parker locks in. Parker looks at the runner at second, goes home. This one just a little bit more outside, 3-1. Creeping up on 2.5 hours into this game. Runners take off. LaRue has to hold on to the ball as this will be the second straight walk. And Keith Harper will come out of the dugout and try to calm down Hunter Parker and get one last out with the bases loaded and 2 away here in the 8th. Bases jacked, 2 away. Hunter Parker looking to work out of a jam, get Hunter Gautreau to go back to the dugout for the 3rd time today. Gautreau 1 for 4 with a single and a pair of strikeouts. Parker has struck out 2 this inning and walked 2, misses outside on the first delivery of this AB here. Parker shaking his head at the umpires. Strike zone, 1-0. Waste no time with the 1-0 delivery. This one off the inside of the bat to Gautreau. And it'll go to the backstop, and we'll go 1-1 with the count. 2 away. Larks will need a rally in the 9th inning, down by 2. One, perfect pitch from Parker in the zone, 1-2. Got Gautreau looking. One, 2 from Hunter Parker. Great pitch. Gautreau way behind it. Parker strikes out 3 in the 8th. For all 3 outs, leaves the bases loaded and sends us to 9th inning. Larks look to rally, down by 2 on Larks Network.
Meet me down at the ballpark, where I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. All of my friends are gonna be there too. Nothing in the world I'd rather do than grab a hot dog burger and a cold beer. You'll hear me yelling out a big cheer, 'cause whether they win or whether they lose, I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks! I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. I can't wait to see a home run. I know for sure there's gonna be one. I'll call out the players by their first name. Sure am glad I made it to the game. Rain or shine, I'm gonna be there. If the stands are full, I'll bring a lawn chair. So join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks! So join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks!
Top of the ninth. There we go. Dylan Drying will lead it off. Takes a first pitch fastball to the low inside corner. 0-1. New pitcher into the game is their closer. It's George Austin, a right-handed pitcher at a Northeast Texas Community College. Dryling chops this one to the Larks dugout. Now will have to protect the plate, down 0-2. Hit an 0-2 count earlier and worked his way into a full count, but then went down on strikes. He's 0 for 3 on the day with 2 strikeouts. Austin delivers to Dryling. It's outside, 1-2. On deck for Hayes is Tanner Rice with Hutchison in the hole. This one is high. Austin thought it was a strike. Allen thought it was a strike. He even attacked Dryling for some reason. There wasn't a drop third strike. And we'll go 2-2 with the counts. Dryling with a good eye, even though nobody in Great Bend thinks it was. 2-2. Dryling pulls his hands inside and sends it out of play. Dryling, one of 2 guys from the state of Kansas, both of them from Hayes, and both of them will appear at the plate this inning. Another one, Palmer Hutchison. 2-2, he pops this one up over the left side of the field. Malone chases it, but gets caught off by Gates, and Gates makes the catch for out number 1. Larks down to the final 2 outs, down by just as many.
The designated hitter, number 2, Tanner Rice.
Tanner Rice comes to the dish. Rice on the day, 1 for 3 with a single, a strikeout, and a flyout. Makes good contact with this one. It's up the middle. Malone slides for it, but he can't make a play on it. And Rice has his second straight hit. And Larks bring the tying run to the plate. Rice got the second in the 7th inning, but then was stranded there after a strikeout and a flyout. Hutchison at the plate has reached in his past 2 plate appearances on a walk and a single. He's 1 for 2 in the day. Fastball lone outside, 1-0. Larks aren't strangers to rallies in the past few years, but this is a new roster. We'll see what they can do tonight. Austin looks over his shoulder. Rice with not really a huge lead at first at all. Don't expect him to risk anything going to second. Good pitch over the corner, 1-1. Swing and a foul tip back into the glove. It's 1-2. One balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. Hutchison sits in the right-hander's batter's box. The 1-2 on its way. Thinks about it. Holds up. And does just so perfectly. Stays light, 2-2. George Austin played for Jesuit Dallas before going to Northeast Texas. And they will punch out Palmer Hutchison and bring Ben Ferenzi to the plate. So into St. Thomas Aquinas Catholic School before going to Jesuit Dallas. Ferenzi on the day, a single back in the 6th inning, and it was out on a fielder's choice. Off speed gets Ferenzi to look at it. And we're down 0-1. 2 away, runner at first, tying run at the plate, go ahead run in the on deck circle. 0-1 sent to center field. Moving in is Rogers, and he will end the ball game. Larks open the season on the road in Great Bend and fall to the Batcats 5-3. These two teams will see each other tomorrow in Hayes at Larks Park. First time in a while the Larks have dropped their opener on the season. Just had a really sluggish start, didn't get anything going through this first 5 innings. Had a great 6 innings and scored 3 runs in that inning. But in the inning before that, they gave up 4 runs, and then they just could never catch back up. It is what it is, baseball. Sometimes it goes that way. We'll have a chance tomorrow to make up for it and split the series with Great Bend and at home. First pitch at 7 p.m. You can catch it right here on Larks Network. This has been Carson Ackerman on the call. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow night at 7